I love you.
So it's morning or early afternoon on day 3. I just had Whataburger again. They have this burger, man, right now. It is so good. Like, I tried it for the first time the other day, and now I'm just hooked. So I totally get why people are so hype on Whataburger now. Like, it's really, really good shit. Anyway, so yesterday was wild, day 2. So I didn't shoot much video, which is crazy. I saw so many good movies. I'm going to do each of these in a separate video, so stay tuned for me uploading individual reviews for each one of the movies I saw yesterday. But I just wanted to try to get as many of these talked about as I can, because I was really blown away by the movies I was able to see yesterday. So far, there's only been 2 movies that I wasn't a big fan of. Wouldn't say I hate them or anything, but they just weren't for me. But in this video, I'm going to talk about a movie called Vicious. It's a brand new Brian Bertino movie put out by Sony, I believe. But it's going to be on Paramount, or maybe it's put out by Paramount. I can't remember. But either way, it's going to be dropping onto Paramount Plus, I believe, in November or December. But I was blown away how good this movie is. Like, I really loved it. At this point, it might... Now, I don't know if I want to say it's my favorite. It might be, though. Like, it's one of those things, like, I will end up doing a video where I rank all the movies that I was able to see this week, but I like to simmer on movies for a minute and really digest them to feel how I feel about them. But yeah, there were some real bangers yesterday. So anyway, Vicious, it is about this woman who is dealing with extremely bad depression and thinking of self-harm, that type of depression. But it stars Dakota Fanning. And man, she is incredible in this movie. Like, I am always so impressed with her. She just never puts out a role, at least a performance in my opinion, where she isn't putting everything she's got into it. But she is incredible in this movie, and she carries it because it's almost exclusively her on camera. But anyway, she plays this woman who is dealing with super bad depression, and an old woman knocks on the door and gives her this box. And I promise I'm not going to spoil anything, because this is a movie you guys definitely need to keep an eye out for when it comes out. Unfortunately, it's only going to go straight to streaming from what I've heard. It's not going to go and get a theatrical release. I'm hoping that maybe the buzz from its Fantastic Fest showing yesterday might push it into getting a theatrical release. Like, we've seen that happen in the past, but we'll see. Either way, it's so damn good. So anyway, so an old woman knocks on the door, and she's acting all lost, and she's confused. So Dakota Fanning's character lets her in, and they start chatting for a few minutes. She says she's lost. She needs to get a hold of her son. And so Dakota Fanning is like, come on in and I'll, let you use my phone so you can call your son, kind of deal. And they start chatting for a little bit, and the old woman starts getting stranger and stranger in the conversation. Pretty short conversation, but she starts getting really odd. And then she's basically like, I'm going to start now. So she has this weird, mysterious box with her, and she opens it up. She's like, I'm going to start now, opens up the box, and pulls out an hourglass. And Dakota Fanning is like, what? Kind of thing. And she's like, you're going to die tonight. The old woman is to Dakota Fanning, like, you're going to die today. And unless you do whatever. Like, she doesn't even really tell her what she needs to do, but she's just like, you're going to die today unless you basically follow the instructions. Dakota Fanning freaks out, basically kicks her out of the house, and then from there, weird stuff starts to happen. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to give any specifics, but it gets gory, it gets weird, it gets supernatural, it gets super creepy, mysterious, haunting, and it's really twisted. And the ending, I was talking to a few people after the movie was over, and they were a little torn on the ending because they didn't exactly, like, there were basically mixed opinions on what we thought the ending meant. And I felt pretty clear on what I took away from the ending of the movie, but I do understand there are multiple ways that you could take this ending, and it's going to resonate with people, you know, some people more than others. So this is definitely a movie that I'm not going to say is going to be for everyone, because once again, it deals with self-harm and depression and things like that. So it definitely could trigger some people. But then on top of that, it's a very weird ending that doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you exactly what to think or what you should feel. It's more of kind of left up for you to decide and determine what you think the movie's about. But it's great performances. It is surprising, the entire movie. It's really, really well shot. Looks fantastic. If you're not familiar with who Brian Bertino is, he made his first big release was The Strangers, and then he did The Strangers Pray at Night. But the most recent one he did that I was blown away by is The Dark and the Wicked, and this feels more like that than his other things he's done, because this is much more darker and creepy and extremely uncomfortable, doesn't pull any punches. And it was really cool because I was in the screening where he was talking about the movie, and so I got to hear his thoughts and feelings and stuff. And he talked mostly about what it means to him to be an indie filmmaker, and how he started out as a fan coming to Fantastic Fest, and how little by little he's, you know, now made this a career, and how indebted he feels to the fans and to people at home watching the movie and at Fantastic Fest and stuff, because he's like, I'm one of you guys. And that was a really cool sentiment that I got from across the board, from every filmmaker I talked to, everything I heard talked about from so many different people was just, you know, like Chris Stuckman talked about this too, because I was able to see Shelby Oaks, which I will talk about in another separate video from this. But yeah, it's a really beautiful thing, and it's exciting, and it's what I love so much about indie horror, is that these are real artists, but also fans, and they're people that they're not like some bigwig famous celebrities. They're true artists that have real passion about what they're doing. There's like nobody really at this, at least so far that I've come across, that is doing this trying to get rich. They're doing this because they have genuine creativity and passion for making film, being involved in film, covering film like I do, or Sean Chandler, Cody Leach, like, you know, a bunch of different creators that like 3C, Chris from 3C Films, you know, numerous creators I've talked to on this platform, as well as just filmmakers. Like, it's a underlying thread, or whatever that term is, for, you know, everyone involved with this. And so it's the most amazing part of this experience for me so far. But it is very overwhelming, very surreal. The whole experience is a trip, because you're standing there and someone will walk up that you've been watching on YouTube, or that you've been, you know, familiar with in the horror industry making movies. I mean, I'm standing there, and to my left is Fred Durst. And numerous times Fred Durst walked by. I could have easily talked to him. There's a lot of people that I could have talked to. That's not really my thing. I'm not trying to meet celebrities here. I'm not trying to, you know, like, there's other people wanting autographs, other people that want to be, you know, and do that, you know, because there's fans that can buy tickets to this. And I just kind of feel like those are the people that deserve to kind of have those opportunities. That's not my interest or what I'm trying to accomplish with this. I was able to have a really nice talk for quite a while with Toby Poser, who is one of the Addams family who makes films. And one of my favorite indie movies of the last, you know, couple years was Hellbender back in 2020. And I just love that movie so much. And she has a new movie this weekend that I'm going to be seeing, I think on Monday. But I can't wait to see it. But she's just the most cool, laid-back, amazing artist. She really is everything that an artist should be, in my opinion. Like a total purist type of creative energy person who's super kind, humble, down to earth, and just a super rad person. So that was the one very cool interaction I had. But it wasn't like I was trying to talk to a celebrity or anything like that. It was like we were literally standing in the hallway. I look over and I'm like, she's standing there just waiting for a movie just like I was. And I'm like, dude, I have to talk to her, you know? So, but anyway, it was an amazing experience, and I highly, highly recommend Vicious. I think it is a perfect holiday disturbing watch this year. So definitely keep an eye out for it. Like I said, I know that it's supposed to come to streaming. Now, hopefully it'll get a theatrical release, like I said, but at the very least, it will be available online to stream. So keep an eye out for it when they release the official date that it's going to drop. So, but yeah, damn good movie. One that I think you definitely need to see.